advise your ministers to declare their assets? You understand? It's not a legal requirement. But would you require your ministers, for the sake of transparency, declare their assets before they assume office? Thank you.
I think that will happen. All ministers.
Right. The question there was assets of the ministers' assets, whether they will be declared before taking office or not. And I think that's a very good question, because if you're coming into office, you need to declare every single asset you have. So therefore, as the person there asking the question, that journalist is basically asking whether the people, those ministers, would have to declare their assets before taking office.
Will declare their assets, because even myself, before I contest election, I declare my assets in the interest of transparency and accountability. That will happen. So,
yes, Mr. Barrow said he himself, before he became the candidate, he declared his assets. So that's a good thing, and that's a good start.
Binga fale ki nga xamne mom modi massa nek inde pour nga def ko sa military aid APS fu nek ni cioli bari na ci deka bi ndax dang koy remplacer def ko CDS na do ko def CDS fu nek ni lola nit ñi di laccé la nga so mën la nga
Masane
on na soxla nañ ku am xam-xam si walu sordar mu wara advice président bi ak deka bi si walu bob so dafa am place bo xamne dañ ko soxla lo ta ñu créer place bob pour muy advice président bi di advice tan soldat lolu duñ ci wécci sun halat.
The question was the appointment of Mr. Masane Cisse, Masane Kinte or Cisse. He was the ex-CDS of Mr. Jammeh, President Jammeh, ex-President Jammeh, Dictator Jammeh. And Mr. Barrow has appointed him as his security advisor. So therefore, I don't think personally that Mr. Masane should be given this position, taking account of Masane's comment during the December 30th, 2014 coup d'etat heroes. He has made a reckless comment in relation to that coup d'etat. So I don't think Masane is suitable for that job. I'm sorry. But Mr. President said he needs a person, a knowledgeable person like Masane. So therefore, Mr. Masane is appointed as an advisor, security advisor to his government, and that position is not going to change. So as we all heard it there, Mr. President has made up his mind.
As a press news agency, under the Jammeh regime, we know that corruption has become a sporting activity in the Gambia, and the justification that many people used to, put forward is the salary are very poor. So what are the plans that your government is going to implement in order to make sure that the salaries is based on the real cost of living?
True. Very good question there. Very good question. I love that question, because what he was trying to ask is, as corruption is rampant in Africa, and specifically in the Gambia, in the public service, in order to eradicate corruption and rid of corruption, wouldn't it be advisable to review the salaries of the public servants, to review the salaries of government workers in order to reduce corruption? Because the cost of living should be taken into account when working out workers' salary. I think that's a very, very important question, because in so many cases, if a bag of rice costs $1,500, your rent costs about another $2,000 or $1,500, already is $3,000. If your monthly salary is $2,000, then you are minus $1,000. Where are you going to find that $1,000? You're going to be involved in corruption, bribery, and all sorts of activities in order for you to live, basically. So I think that's a very important point, to review the salaries of the people and fix or amend the salaries according to the cost of living.
My government is going to look at every avenue, and there will be a complete overhaul of the whole system. In that overhaul, we will have recommendations. I think we will look at all those things and take the best decision as soon as possible.
So Mr. President said they will look at everything and then...
Mr. President, there have been many decisions that were what I would call decrees or proclamations by presidents, which stopped businesses and threw out hundreds of people out of employment and closed media houses. Most that were not backed by law. For example, the Daily News newspaper, up to this time, is not published and has not been closed by any form of procedure. Operators in businesses such as casinos, lotteries, have all had their businesses stopped. Now, do they have to wait for another presidential directive to resume, or would they get back to work immediately? And also, you said you'll be watching the African Nations Cup quarterfinals today, supporting Senegal. Are you not touched as a president that your country has never reached that stage? And what will be, your efforts to see that the next African Nations Cup, the Gambia appears there? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamincham. I think the issue of executive directives, that will be over in this country. There will be no directive. What we're going to do is we follow the rule of law. Basically, in that, with democratic principle, you have to follow the rule of law. When you say executive directives, it makes the job very difficult for everybody. We don't want to use our powers. We want to follow the law. Gambia, I think it's unfortunate. Gambia was at a level higher than a lot of countries. Now we have gone below them. We will look at that crucially. As a sport journalist, I think you will be in that committee to advise what best we can do to improve our national squad. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Binta Jan. I work for RFI. Mr. President, since many years, we've seen that many rebels called MFDC are in some parts of the country. How are you going to handle with this issue?
This is a Casamas issue that has been on for years. I think Gambia and Senegal, we are all the same. If there is a problem in the Gambia, the same problem will reflect in Senegal. See, during the course of this short period, how many people have fled to Senegal? So we'll always cooperate with the Senegalese government to help resolve the problem in Casamas.
Jennifer Amani, AFP. I think everybody has been struck by the professionalism we've seen from the foreign forces here, especially the Senegalese troops that we've met. They benefit from a close cooperation with France and with the US in terms of training. As you reform your own army, are you thinking of using training from other African nations or from the West in terms of
have a strong voice at the parliament, and are you trying to create job opportunities for them, because they were all chanting that no more back way?
My government is committed to that, and we want to bring a system in place that will create jobs. In this creation of jobs, we want businesses to open in this country, and if that happens, I think that will create jobs. We are looking at the fishing industry also. In that industry, it has not been exploited by Gambia. We want to work on that so that we can create jobs.
ako abe alkalo mi yalon ko abe salkiran jang aba konton na baki
duni eliman bi ak kilifa sale kenya ak kilifa badi bu yeb
abe almamo konton na ani salke alfalu ani mbadi alfal mumela be kew abal konton na bak
di nuyu suñu chairman ak yaay compagnie xale yi fi nekk góor ak jigéen
abe kiyamano konton na ani yaay compinolu ani compinolu min yalon koy bebe ñi mbadi bu saate kono jang kew abe be konton
maa ngi nuyu badi bu yëpp
ako abe badi bu be konton no
xaja suma taawee fii xale yi xamuñ ma
tumando ba to nalo ta ñaati lo jan dinol wolta suutere malon
waaye dëkk ci sekunda fii benn ak ci salikañe fii
wata sarkere jande si sekunda atata je fo ay sanji kilin si abidjan si sekunda salkenye
maa amee salikañe ak Njabakunda coopérative maa nekkoon coopérative
wato minna coopérative be kerin coopérative inspector mati sarken jang ani Njabakunda ate mi la inspector
1967-68
wo kanyanta 1967 le fe ani 1968 sankono
ñu ngi daan bu ci bunti bitiki Abdou Tafa fale daan naa nga ne attaya mo
Abdou Tafa la bun ala bitiki dala ani kutubo e tolle ka sije e ka ataya mi o keje
ak ñoom Yaaya Kale ak ñoom Haydara
ani Yaaya Kale ñolo ani Mamadou Haydara ñolo
kon nag salikeñe xam naa ko te taranga lañ ma defal
woto ay salikeñe lon ne kende ke andu abidjan wato min na e buña ani hormo damale diyal
te dama leen xamee woon am fayda tamit
andu ayal long ale fayda soto jaw ke la tol salkeñen kolo
te dañoo liggéey di dunda seen ñaxa
alkabalu altarola bari alka do kule and alka do ko min ke wol mal tarote alkabalu wol
1968 taret Njabakunda moo jënda gerte bi gën a bari ci Gambia ci seko coopérative
1968 Njabakunda ila seko min biye coopérative e tolla tiyo ye min sang wala siyata in Gambia kono dawo da ni seko bije ye tiyo mi waari
salikeñe ñu jëna 3,800 ñoom
salkeñe jang 3,800 tons of groundnut 3,800 tons ye wala salkeñe jang
dama ne tey salikeñe ña ana seen seko bi man ma Sirif John ñoo nekkoon fii
ateni Sirif John itolle be nun jambar salkeñe bi alla seko le
ñaata tons ngeen jënd ci traite bi passé
ñin traité min tambita alto salkeñe jang ale ton jelle wafi ale ton jelle wafi tiola
Njabakunda ñaata tons lañ jënda
Njabakunda ye ton jelle sang tiola
Yaya Jammeh ñëw na rey li nga xam ne moo doon def béykat yi ñu dunda
sama lalu ila do ko fegolu Yaya Jammeh nata wato mina wo sama ay wole tinya aya fa dak nyimban ko kan ila balu be den dim fefena Yaya Jammeh wo faala
ko béykat yi
senelalu
coopérative lañ amoon coopérative lañ yaakaar
ye coopérative le soto andung ila jiko fana be wo coopérative le kan
suñoo dem pour su nawet jotee
nin sama sida wato minna ibe pare kam pour ka senoke
koo xam ne doomi coopérative nga
momo nin atanun ko coopérative di wala meyti nyimban ko kan
mun ngaa dem ñu lebal la xaalis
istano ye don to kodola
ñu lebal la engrais
ye don to jambandola
ñu lebal la jiw
ye don to turola
ak yeneen jumtuwaay yi nga bëgg pour béy ñu lebal la
min fen mi alon ka beta seno sone an la dron ni sula tale bitala jele ye don tala wante ya dila nyaawo nyaama mi alon ka se sone ano
soo béyee am sa gerte bu bari
ni ye seno ke foka bang yela tie jama soto
soo ko jaayee nga fay sa bori coopérative
ni ya wa fi isaje ko c'est la coopérative juno jono
waaye tey nguur gi bale ci dara
bi mbe bi kilometer ñimman sakunda bu kalma koy no hani fenna
waaye mu ne yéen ñëpp na ngeen bàyyi seen tool yi nga xam ne soo leen ko béyee pour seen njaboot ngeen ko dundale
ay alma koy mina wala ma altolu ni sama sita altolu ka do ko ke dawda ali o dula bulade dame yalon ko alkala dimba al balundi ali je bula sani ay alma koy
mu ne pour ngeen bàyyi seen tool yi ngeen dem be toolam moom Yaya Jammeh ci Kanilai
woto ay alma koy min fonala kala o to wala nyindi ko nali ala do ko bula kunkoto aleta do ko la te Kanilai kalibori ndi ko suwo Kanilai
dama ne
ako
président kat na ko président yaayam doy waaye bu mu jël ndoomi Gambia yi def leen jaam
ako président ala président ya wonya na kanya na fere ay wasu ay wanta ay wasa wo président banni amanke woti balu senelalu ani do balu ke balu nin damenna ni atefna wo kala balu dulati dum
su toogee be président di hecco ak badoole fi ñu war a amee
ite si te président to inin do balu alka ñoo saba fenna mi yalon ko do bal la baluram be wolto
kon nag mooy xam ne ko waru toog ci place bi ñoo ooyee place yi président
woto nin wo mo sifa sota de andu wolon président oti wo mo manyana sila wo place oto ngadamen ko mandi président yala